We start with the developer portal, which is something that typically gets confused with an API marketplace, which it is not. It could and should be a component of an API marketplace. However, on its own, a developer portal is absolutely not an API marketplace. The point of the developer portal is to make usage easier on the marketplace. You know how you check the synopsis of a movie on a streaming or pay TV platform to see if it is suitable for kids, along with information such as the PG rating and duration of the movie, so you can plan your family's movie night accordingly to make sure the kids still make it to bed in time, so you and your partner can squeeze in a movie date night and enjoy a movie with some recreational Olympics and a bit of wine? Well, that's what a developer portal does for API marketplaces. This is the place where you go and search for anything that can help make the process of leveraging the API marketplace easier, whether it be to search for functionality to finish an application or to browse around for innovation inspiration. The only drawback here is that the quality of information or documents you find depends on how good the publisher of a given API is in communicating key information about the use and benefits of their published API. It is the responsibility of the publisher to make their API attractive to potential customers unless the API itself is built well enough that a user can intuitively navigate its use, and it also receives a number of good reviews. Next, we deal with the API gateway. This is the underlying capability on the marketplace to facilitate the usage of APIs. The capability that allows you to pause, rewind, and forward your favorite shows on your favorite streaming platform. Remember that. That's the capability that is at the center of how you consume the video content on that streaming platform. The gateway is in a similar manner at the center of facilitating user activity and platform operations for the marketplace. It operates the capability that allows users to view and use APIs and allow these to communicate with whatever applications users are using these APIs for. Platform operations such as governance of the marketplace and user management are managed through the API Manager component of the marketplace. It manages the user and customer communities and associated activities such as rights management and load balancing. It also houses the analytics engine running behind the marketplace to record usage and user activity management data. It also derives and reports on insights such as API access rates and other similar stats, and uses these stats to drive maintenance and continuous improvement activities on the platform. Users rely on insights produced by the API Manager to track API performance or to check API performance for users shopping for an API. Now, let's recap on the case study we discussed in Section 1, where we derived a number of KPIs from the process of constructing our dating platform for wealthy individuals. We discussed some features we wanted for our platform, derived functionality we needed to build those features, assigned types of pieces of software we needed to bring that functionality to life, and then derived some APIs we might need to leverage in making these pieces of software blend to eventualize our dating platform. We're going to do a simple exercise where we assign each of these KPIs to a marketplace type where they would typically be found. This is just to illustrate further the nuances that may further illustrate the differences between the different API marketplaces. A quick recap of the type of API marketplaces again. So we start with the Facebook Profile API. Facebook as an entity has a fiduciary duty to protect its customer data, so it can't just allow anyone who wants to build an app to access its data, less still its user profiles, without knowing how this data is going to be protected and used. So this type of API is more suited to exist in a closed group API marketplace, where only entities owned or affiliated to Facebook can access this kind of data. Now, if the platform just wanted to log in, the typical login with Facebook we see when logging into various platforms not affiliated with Facebook, where the API just asks Facebook to authenticate a user, then other types of API marketplaces might be able to house such an API, and Facebook will come to the party because all it is doing is honoring a user's wish to tell another platform where they are logging in that they are legit without sharing any other information. The personality test API would need the user to populate their own information into a number of fields in order to get a result. This API is calling functionality in order to use data from a user entered on the calling platform to get a particular result without actually sharing the personal information of the user. In this case, an open shared revenue API marketplace can house such an API for anyone to use on their platform. The data belongs to the app or platform making the request to use this data to get an outcome. So this is a simple software as a service transaction. It's important to note that the sharing of data is not just a user data protection issue because a user can grant permission. It's also about preservation, essentially making it difficult for possibly competing platforms from accessing your users or getting them hooked on another platform with a similar value proposition. The same logic applies with the API that accesses subscription management functionality from another platform. The user enters credit card data on the platform, making the request to use the functionality. Our dating platform is the one that carries the responsibility of getting and storing the user's credit card data. All this API is doing is using a piece of software that takes a value from the dating platform and making recurring payments from the user's credit card to the kitty of our dating platform. The API calls on a platform to facilitate a payment as the previous one, except here we're accessing functionality for a payment mechanism. If you're setting up an online store on a software as a service platform like Shopify or Ecwid, those payment options you selected for your customers are most probably being facilitated via APIs that borrow functionality from another platform to facilitate those payments through the payment options selected. Online content moderation mainly applies on platforms where users have to communicate into the abyss, i.e., one-to-many type of communication. And these are typically social media platforms. One-on-one communication typically may not involve any moderation due to user privacy. Using an API that accesses this functionality would involve the social media platform sharing user communication with an external party, which might be considered invasive. It might be more suitable to build this functionality into another API that perhaps flags the number of times a certain word is used on a particular platform and uses this data for product or service marketing campaign management purposes, which would be less invasive. Our best option is then to embed the content moderation functionality into the dating platform and modify it as we understand our user communication needs. Operating system integration APIs could exist in all three types of marketplaces depending on the actual API and which functionality it actually accesses. Android being pseudo-open source might mean that closed group doesn't quite apply. Apple, on the other hand, would have APIs that are applicable to core functionality of its devices in perhaps a closed group marketplace and allow developers to develop APIs that make it easier for their apps to run on Apple devices and list these in a shared revenue or aggregator marketplace. And there we go. We hope that at this stage, you're fully immersed into the inner workings of API marketplaces and how they could be of benefit to any small or large business. Join us next session when we get to the core of the topic, using API marketplaces to build innovation execution capability within a business. You might already have some ideas. Let's see if we can sync ours with yours. Thanks for watching. Cheers for now.